According to the Bible, the mark of the beast is a mark that will be forced on people during the end of the world. And during this time, Revelation chapter 13 says that there will be two prominent figures that will rule the final world government. And those people are the beast of the sea, also known as the Antichrist, and the beast of the earth, also known as the false prophet. And before Jesus returns to earth for the second time, the false prophet will force people to receive this mark of the beast. And because this subject has caused concern or confusion for Christians, here's everything you need to know about the mark that'll happen so that everyone can be aware. Fact number 1, the mark of the beast is not 666. It calculates to 666. Revelation chapter 13, verse 18. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. In this passage, John tells us that the mark of the beast calculates to 666. And the reason why this is important is because I see pictures of horror movies and these demons or possessed people all have the number 666 on their foreheads. And the idea of 666 comes from this passage in the book of Revelation, which is the final book in the Bible. The reason why 6 is a significant number is because it's commonly known as the number of man, whereas 7 is known as the number of completion. People were created on the 6th day, and on the 7th day, God rested and intended man to rest and to remember him. So this 666 kind of conveys this idea of man that has no need for God. So when it comes to this mark of the beast, Christians can't be exactly sure what it will look like. Some people think that it might look like a barcode, and with the direction we're taking in technology, I feel like the mark might be a chip implantation. But we don't know. What's important, though, is to know that the mark will calculate to 666. So what the mark physically looks like is up to speculation. And while this mark may look trivial, it's incredibly dangerous. So pay attention to fact number 2. The mark of the beast is an unforgivable sin. Revelation chapter 14, verses 9 to 10. Then a third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, "If anyone worships the beast and his image and receives his mark on his forehead or on his hand, he himself shall also drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out full strength into the cup of his indignation. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb." In this passage, John sees an angel talking to people, and he's saying if anyone worships the beast or the Antichrist and receives this mark on their forehead or hand, they will endure God's wrath and be tormented with fire in the presence of God and his angels. So please understand the gravity of this passage. People who receive this mark will receive God's wrath, and this wrath is felt in the lake of fire, which is the second and final death. Christians have asked me in the past, what if someone gets this mark on their hand, but they cut their hand off? Can they still be saved? And the answer is no, because this passage says that anyone who receives the mark will go through the wrath of God, and the fullness of God's wrath will be death in the lake of fire. So, should the time come and a mark be given in the future that gives allegiance to a future ruler, people must avoid it at all costs. And it will be difficult or even impossible to avoid. And you'll see why in fact number 3. The mark of the beast will be forced upon people. Revelation chapter 13, verses 15 to 17. He was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. In this passage, John tells us that the beast of the earth, or the false prophet, was given power to give breath or semblance of life to a particular image. To give you some context, the Bible prophesies that there will be an assassination attempt on the Antichrist, and many will believe him to be dead. And we see this in Revelation chapter 13, verses 3 and 14. But despite this deadly wound that was given to the Antichrist, the false prophet will cause him to breathe and speak. And this breath that the false prophet gives will not be given to the beast, but to the image of the beast. And then the false prophet will force people to worship and bow down to the beast's image, and then he'll force them to receive his mark, and those who don't will be executed.
Purchase the RFID implant from dangerousthings.com. This is a dual chip RFID NFT implant kit. It comes pre-sterilized with all of the implant tools and instructions that you need to do it yourself at home. All it took was a little bit of convincing and a couple of beers, and my buddy was ready to perform surgery. At the end of the day, surgery was a success. Call me crazy, but the possibilities are endless, and I can't wait to see what future projects I work on with this thing.
Door, and now you can pay for groceries in it. And look at the NPC here, thinking this is the salvation, thinking this is the freedom, when it's really the shackles here in clip 8.
And I have Whole Foods, and I'm about to pay for my groceries with my... It'll work. That's the coolest thing ever.
You might think, well, yeah, okay, microchip in the hand to access all my stuff or have all my information. Oh, sure, that's a nice microchip you have in your arm. Makes it real easy to get access to your car and apartment. You don't have to worry about losing your keys or your wallet or your ID. It's all right there. But what happens when all of a sudden you don't get access to it anymore? Did you consume too much meat? Did you consume too much energy? Did you share the wrong social media post? Did you say the wrong thing? And all of a sudden that access is gone. And then what do you become? A slave.
The chip inside of my hand can open cabinets and doors. This does not work. Here is my ring. Does not work. Here's motion. Does not work. Here's my hand with nothing on it. Nothing on my sleeve. Here's the chip. And it opens.
The Bible says in Revelation 13 that when the Antichrist takes the stage, he's going to require that everybody get a mark on their hand and on their forehead, and they won't be able to buy or sell without it.
Okay. All right, there we go.
How do you do it?
Magic.
Huh?
Magic.
Oh, magic.
Welcome back. When was the last time you wrote an actual check or bought something with cash? Swiping and tapping our cards and our apps are not just the easiest way to spend money, they're the safest way, unless, of course, we misplace our phones or our wallets, and then it's a nightmare. And soon your hand may be all that you need to buy anything that you can afford.
Embedded in his hand is a microchip that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet. When Elias Brotberger goes to work, he doesn't need ID, and he doesn't need money. In fact, much of what he needs to get through the day is hidden right there, just below the surface, in his hand.
So I use it like to get around the building.
Buy snacks.
Yeah, exactly. First blip my chip and it will log me in. And from there I get access to the fridge.
Microchip implants use the same technology that's in contactless credit cards,
which have made cash pretty much obsolete in Sweden.
No cash.
A pinch of the skin, and in a matter of seconds, the chip is inserted. The transformation is complete. Human microchipping may be our future, but in Sweden, it's already reality.
That would implant a microchip under your skin to prove that you've taken the Fauci ouchie. There are many lessons to take away from this creepy turn of events. First, ideas that began as wild, crazy conspiracy theories are morphing into reality before our very eyes as we enter into the third year of 15 Days to Slow the Spread.
I put a microchip in my arm and it's the best thing ever. This chip is a powerhouse. It's got everything I need. A credit card, my ID, my medical info, and even my keys. And when it's time for groceries, you just tap your wrist and bam! Transaction done. It's like magic. In a medical emergency, it can save my life. Experts can easily identify me and my medical history. I feel like a sci-fi character and I'm loving it. This amazing chip is totally free. That's right, no more digging into your pockets. And the best part, the surgery is quick. They'll give you a cookie afterwards.
Fox, let me see your hand.
A 425, please.
All right, let's see. Kenny, keep your mask on.
Sorry, we don't take cash.
Okay. 1 second. Is that me?
Sorry, we don't take card either.
I'm sorry? What am I supposed to use?
Can you step to the side so you can figure this out?
Can I speak to your manager? No! Excuse me. Do you guys take checks?
We don't need it.
I have the money.
We don't need it.
Okay, what the hell is that? Excuse, when was that implemented? I don't have that.
Sorry, but we're cashless now. I had to implement the new system just to stay in business.
It's okay, Mom. You don't need it. Let's just go.
I hope you understand. Oh, but hey, if you want to check out Mike's Corner store right up the street, you might have some luck.
Thank you.
Dr. Olson had a decision.
You are in the perfect place to start on blockers.
And she promises to begin giving her estrogen, female hormones, in 2 years.
Around 13. That's what I think. Yes, you're not going to develop breast buds on the blockers, but you're not going to wait until 16 to start. You know that, okay?
Josie received the blockers as an implant in her arm.
It's okay if you cry.
So with all the bravery she could muster,
You're going to feel a little bit of a...
Josie held on tight as another chapter opened in this young girl's life.
Closing up the skin.
A lot of times it strikes me that had this happened just 20 years ago,
Thank you.
I wouldn't have been able to give her blockers and she would have had to go through male puberty. That terrifies me.
Well, 3 Square Market is sticking it to their folks today using these needles. Now, let me show you first what this microchip looks like. It is about the size of a grain of basmati rice. So Patrick here is the CEO. Andy is a licensed body piercer, so let it rip. We're going to see this now.
I got it.
I can't look. I can't look. Needle is in. Chip is in.
Bingo.
Not very much blood at all. Patrick, how'd that feel?
Better than get my wisdom teeth out.
Okay, and you're still conscious.
Yeah, I'm great.
Melissa got chipped yesterday, but you had to be talked into doing this. How long did it take you to say yes to this?
I was a little hesitant at first, but I had 7 days to think about it, and once I learned the facts, there was no question in my mind.
Okay, one last thing we want to show you over here. Hold on, Matt. Go ahead, Steve. They can buy their goodies here in the break room by just using their hand. Real quickly, he's going to get a Kit Kat bar. And it's paid for, $1.06, guys. So the question again, as we asked you last week, are you ready to be chipped, guys? Let's send it back to you. Wow.
I'm kind of I don't know that.
Implanting microchips into their hand that function as their credit card, their ID, and more. Talk about a mobile wallet. Sarah Harmon has more on this brave new world.
When Elias Brotberger goes to work, he doesn't need ID. And he doesn't need money. In fact, much of what he needs to get through the day is hidden right there, just below the surface, in his hand.
You like to touch it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, weird. Yeah, it's like a grain of rice.
Yeah, a grain of rice.
Embedded in his hand is a microchip that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet.
Yeah, it's all in chip, so I use it like to get around the building.
Buy snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's buy some snacks. So I can't open it.
No.
Okay.
So what I need to do is I need to first blip my chip, and it will log me in, and from there I get access to the fridge.
Popular TV shows like Black Mirror have imagined chips as part of a dystopian future.
Install in-grain procedure with local anesthetic, and you're good to go.
In Sweden, the microchips are already here.
The microchip implants use the same technology that's in contactless credit cards,
which have made cash pretty much obsolete in Sweden.
No cash.
At this tech fair, a chipping event for those on the cutting edge, merging their hands with this new technology.
I thought it would be fun, right?
The process is simple and swift. A pinch of the skin, and in a matter of seconds, the chip is inserted. The transformation is complete. As for the pain,
I barely felt it.
But even in this nation of early adopters, not everyone is racing to get chipped.
Feel less human. I will feel like a robot.
I think, it's so much more data can go into this, when it's in your body.
There's no central registry tracking how many people are chipped, but biohacker Hannes Wellblood estimates between 5,000 and 10,000.
In the future, do you think everyone is going to be chipped?
I think it'll be voluntary, but I am certainly convinced that millions of people will find it very, very valuable to have a smart device under their skin.
Human microchipping may be our future, but in Sweden, it's already reality. Sarah Harmon, NBC News, Stockholm.
Chip actually in his hand. The tiny implant is the latest advance in a biohacking technology that is steadily becoming a part of normal life in Sweden.
We have created a new implant, which is not a chip, it's a full device where you can add different lights, different vibration, different functions. Sweden is a very tech-literate society. And I think this is the main explanation, really, why a lot of Swedes are adopting chip implants.
Swedes haven't been shy about upgrading themselves with the new version. Thousands already have microchip implants that they use in their daily lives, waving their hand to gain entrance to the gym, confirm their ID or make payments. A short moment of pain not putting them off becoming part Swede, part machine. This event is an implant party, simply where ordinary people can show up and get a microchip embedded under their skin. The biohacking movement in Sweden is hosting them all over Europe, but it's at home where they get the most willing recipients.
I think it's really cool. You don't have to carry any keys or anything. It's just your body. In maybe 10 years, everything will be in your hand.
In Sweden, more than anywhere else, the future is already here. The national train company SJ has around 2,600 people signed up to use microchips instead of train tickets.
Did you see that?
And no need to mind the generation gap. 18-year-old Felicia and father Magnus still bear the scars of their new implants. Student Hannah Herving is also freshly chipped and now just needs to program it to open doors. Although importantly for a future career, it does already connect to her LinkedIn.
Some people say I'm mad that I don't know if it's safe and all that, but people have been putting these chips into animals for 20 years, so I'm not worried about that.
The long-term goal is for the new chips to help provide medical care in remote communities. They're already getting under the skin of the Swedes and may soon become just another normal part of modern life and of the human body.